guys, welcome back to INSANEBRIT Gaming. I'm the INSANEBRIT, and this is this week's News Friday, where I talk about all the week's gaming news, gaming topics, and some anime news if I find it, or movie news or whatever. Now we are starting off on a negative. This is the first News Friday of the year, and essentially I have to start off on a negative, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics today, some exciting, some negative. Today's topic, or first topic, is swatting. Basically, swatting is when you get somebody's information online via their address and name, for example, or even just the address in itself, and you phone up the local police department and say there is a hostage situation, that person has a gun, etc., etc., and they essentially get raided by the police, which can and has resulted in the loss of life multiple incidences across the United States, but in particular this actually happens. You know, this has happened to Miley Cyrus, Justin Bieber, and a bunch of other celebrities as well. I think even Ashton Kutcher, believe it or not. Now, this is based in the Los Angeles Police Department, has basically arrested the man in connection with the fatal shooting, in which basically it was over a dispute over a $1.50 bet or whatever on Call of Duty. I mean, ridiculous. You know, and so basically he swatted the guy, said there was a hostage situation, the police have went in, and, you know, a man has answered the door. Now, in this incident, the police were expecting to be in a hostage situation, and of course, this man just opened the door like normal, and for whatever reason, has reached for his just near his waist, and the police officer has seen that as a threat and can't risk it, of course, in a nervous situation, and has taken a shot, and which has resulted in a man's death. Now, if this weren't a tragedy in itself, of a loss of life, in actual fact, they've actually got the wrong guy, the wrong address. The guy who swatted didn't even get the guy who he was trying to swat. He got some totally random stranger, and, you know, someone totally not related to the game of Call of Duty or swatting in general, anything to do with it. He just opened his door and got shot. Absolutely ridiculous in itself, but, you know, these things happen. The police officer that took the shot is on paid leave. I kind of don't blame the police officer. I feel that it should have been a better approach, but at the same time, if he said that the guy was going for what he thought was a gun and he was entering a hostile situation, there's a couple of things there. I would say, A, go about it the right way. Maybe make contact via phone, don't just raid, but, you know, you look at the situation and you study it a little bit, and then you make a choice. I don't know, for whatever reason they made the decision, but they did. Anyway, a YouTuber by the name of Keemstar or whatever interviewed the guy who actually did the swatting, and he openly admitted to doing the swatting, to the guy's surprise, on camera or whatever, and gamers overall, I think his face was covered or whatever, the gamers of the community basically identified him through his avatar over a 2-year mugshot or whatever. They recognized him that they've seen before, and that's how police were able to arrest him. He also gave the same take that he gave Keemstar, the YouTuber, to the police as well. I don't know what's going to be happening to him. I hope he gets fucking punished for that. He's cost an innocent man his life. Well, everyone was innocent in this instance other than him, and I hope he gets, I'm going to say 10, 15 years, 20 years maybe, who knows. I have no idea what the punishment is going to be for that. I assume it's going to be jail time. I hope it's quite long. You've cost an innocent man his life. You could argue, you could even probably put that down to manslaughter, you know, like, somebody's dead because of you, you didn't intend it, but you kind of did, even though you didn't pull the trigger. You've put the man in that situation. So I hope he gets a long sentence for that. Unbelievable, and swatting is very serious, and, you know, you shouldn't do it, is basically my message, obviously. But yeah, a man instantly lost his life over nothing, essentially. Outrageous. We have a bunch of other interesting stories to talk about, aside from that, including, if I can just find it now, where is it? Oh god, we have to talk about Watch Dogs 3. Yes, there's going to be a Watch Dogs 3. Give me 1 minute, guys. Hey guys, before I get onto the Watch Dogs story, I just want to talk about the World Health Organization basically categorizing gaming addiction and I'll go into some detail here actually. Hold on, if I can just pull out. First and foremost, I want to thank the guy who sent me this article. I had heard of this. I didn't say anything about it. I did see a couple of articles, but the one you sent me was actually pretty good. Toby Larone, thank you so much for sending me this. So if you are watching, thank you so much. Credit for you. So yeah, basically gaming addiction has been recognized by the World Health Organization, and this comes into two categories, and one of them I'm really looking at and laughing at, because I feel that I have suffered from that in the past, and I'll give you the full diagnosis in a minute. This has other implications for me, and I'll get to that in a little bit. It may be me fear-mongering, but I suspect it's going to happen. So, but first of all, let's give you the update. The World Health Organization has listed several gaming-related conditions in its updated international compendium of diseases. The latest draft of the document is available to view online. Gaming disorder and hazardous gaming. There's two, so that's gaming disorder and hazardous gaming are now included. Sorry if I got the pronunciation wrong. I'm having severe trouble saying that word. I don't know why. Gaming disorder is listed under disorders due to substance use or addictive behavior, pretty much like alcohol and drugs, which is ironic, and filed alongside addictive gaming. The World Health Organization characterizes it as patterns of persistent or recurring gaming behavior, where the sufferer lacks control over how often or how much they play games, where their behavior takes precedence over other life interests and daily activities, and continues to do so despite occurrence of negative consequences. So, for example, if you get up every day and you go straight to your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, PC, you turn it on and you start to game because, you know, like World of Warcraft, you just got to keep it going, or, you know, Call of Duty, you got to get that next rank, or whatever it may be. I pretty much suffered with something like this, and I'll give you the exact timeline of my addiction. It went on for 2 or 3 years. Basically, I got up every day at 2 o'clock. And I would play SOCOM Confrontation, one of my, I say, my absolute favourite online game of all time, and would love them to bring it back. And it's not just me, by the way. There are multiple people in my clan who are loving the game and were nearly as addicted to it as me. So I wasn't the only one. Everyone's life is different, but I had real problems with it, I feel. I got up at 2 o'clock, okay, 2 o'clock daytime, and I would play till 6, okay, have my dinner, or possibly eat my dinner and play, because you died in a round, and then that was it. You could do whatever for 4 or 5 minutes, and then go back to in the next round. Then at 6 o'clock I would play till 12, and then I would have a break, and then I would go till 5 in the morning. So 2 o'clock till 5 in the morning. Go to bed. 2 o'clock till 5, and I did this over and over again. Ridiculous, and of course I put off job opportunities. I put off educational things and other aspects of my life which I should not have avoided, and that was essentially my gaming addiction, you know, how it went. So that's just giving you an idea of what my experience of it. As for a lack of control, I wouldn't say a lack of control, well, maybe back then, but now, how is it? I would pretty much say I don't have to game that much. I don't go on and turn the PS4 on. I can leave it off all day to a point and do other things, whether I'm uploading stuff or whatever, or I'm just talking to somebody online. I'm still on a computer, but I'm not exactly gaming, so, you know, I'm nowhere near it. I think I game for about 3 to 4 hours a day, 1 or 2 hours when I'm just talking to a friend, I'm playing a game, FIFA or something, just saying casual, and I'm talking on Skype, and then maybe 1 or 2 hours when I'm recording for you guys. So, you know, that's about it really. So 2 to 3, 4 hours a day, maybe 3 on average, 4 if I'm pushing it, you know what I mean? It's still a lot, but it's not compared to how I was originally. So that's part 1 of that. Oh no, sorry, I just want to get that off my chest over that. Okay, the behavior, okay, hold on, blah blah blah. The behavior pattern is significant severity in significant impairment or in personal, family or social or educational areas are described. Okay, hold on, blah blah blah. Oh no, these patterns of behavior would usually have to be present for at least a year to earn the above diagnosis. The World Health Organization noted, although this period could be shortened if symptoms were severe. Well, essentially, this would be me because I did it for more than a year. Hazardous gaming. Okay, this is the next section. Meanwhile, it's described as a pattern of gaming, either online or offline, that preferably increases the risk of harmful physical or mental health consequences to the individual or others around this individual. This increased risk may be from a frequency of gaming, so possibly me again because I did it so much. The World Health Organization continued, from the amount of time spent on these activities, from the neglect of other activities, priorities, from risky behaviors associated with gaming or in its context, from the adverse consequences of gaming, or from the combination of these patterns of gaming, or is often persists in spite of awareness of increased harms to other individuals or others. Blah 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 blah. The above description of particularly the idea of hazardous gaming is to bring to mind extreme cases of people dying in public at internet cafes after playing games non-stop for days at a time. But it feels like the World Health Organization is all reconsidering a broader spectrum of addiction and conditions which can affect the lives of those addicted and those around them over extended periods of time, etc., etc. So essentially, that hazardous one is basically, again, in part with what I still do today, because you can be so into your games that you actually don't eat or drink, and sometimes I even do that. It's not intentional, and then I suddenly think, oh man, I really need something to drink after a few hours of gaming, and that brings on headaches and stuff like that. And you know, so that's a physical element of it coming in. If you don't know what they mean by that, of course there is those extreme cases in Korea, Japan maybe. Especially Korea, though, of people walking out. You've heard those strange stories of people getting up from their computer and walking outside and dying because of lack of food and drink, because they've been there for 24 hours or a couple of days, and the people that run them just haven't really paid attention to it. And then you have, you know, other people have even died at their computer screens. So it is a real issue. It is going to be ongoing. This issue. I'm happy they've categorized it in some respect. I would like to see them, you know, go into a little bit more detail of what can be done to prevent it. But then again, this has other effects, and this is me fear-mongering at this point, and you may laugh at it and scoff at it, but it is a very real thing. If this is labelled along with alcohol and cigarettes or whatever it may be, what they essentially might do is try and tax the games and make them more expensive for the likes of us, which is not a good thing. Also, you'll have your doctor asking you about your gaming addiction, or if you're a bit depressed or anxiety, and yes, that would be a way of getting you help, but he's going to be asking you about your gaming habits. So I don't know why, but I'll be like, no, you're not taking my gaming away. No, I know you're a doctor, but no, I love my gaming. So I'd be a bit hesitant to tell them how long I game, or would have. I wouldn't do it as much now, but I wouldn't want to be wanting to admit it, because telling me to game less, which actually I feel puts me in a mood where I'm better than what I would be in reality, instead of facing my problems. But you know, it's all part of the help. And then the other fundamental thing is the insurance people. Now doctors and health insurance are now going to be recognizing it as an addiction, therefore your premiums may go up. If you're prone to gaming addiction, they're going to be asking you on forms and on the telephone or whatever, oh, how often do you game? Do you have a PC in your house? Do you play a computer? How often do you play it? How many hours, etc., etc. And based on how you answer those questions, your premiums may go up because they think you're high risk. For example, if I'm fit and healthy and I exercise all the time, that's going to be a positive for an insurance company to take me on. But if I weigh 500 pounds or whatever and have a heart problem, insurance companies ain't really going to want to take me on. They're going to be saying it's high risk to them. I'll be paying in for a short amount of time, maybe for a couple of years, and then the surgery I might need or something like that, I might end up costing near 400, 500, 600,000 in a few years' time, or maybe even death. So they have to pay out, and they don't want to do that. So it is a major thing. I think in America particularly, they need health insurance, or have got health insurance. A lot of them do. You know, maybe they're not all gamers, I don't know, but it is an issue. There's one more thing added on, so it's can be put on you that way. So I think you're going to end up paying more for your insurance and paying more on games in general if they go. I mean, that's me fear-mongering, but that is a strong possibility. They might end up doing that if they're categorizing it with alcohol and cigarettes. So anyway, that's just to cover that. It's an important issue, and I think a lot of us suffer from it in some ways, but maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe it's time to look at your gaming habits and just question how much you do game. Maybe you suffer, maybe you don't, maybe you did in the past. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below, actually, if you do suffer from it or how many hours a day you do game. Like I said, I've changed my mind a lot in the past 1 or 2 years, especially. Okay, this next story, I'm going to jump straight to Watch Dogs 3, and there's not a lot to say about Watch Dogs 3. Essentially, this is just a rumor, but I'm going to run down the evidence that we have, or supposedly that we have. Basically, this rumor is essentially based on the fact that Ubisoft have been rotating their games recently, along with Assassin's Creed Origins coming out once every 2 years, being a refresh rate kind of element. So we'll have more time the developers will have more time to work on the game, etc., and it seems to have worked rather well. But they're looking for something to fill the void, and I think they're essentially saying that Watch Dogs 3 might be the next game. Now, my history of Watch Dogs is the following. I got it. I know I was borrowed it. I played it for 2 hours. It was boring as hell. I didn't like the character. The main character sucked. And now I've downloaded it for free on Xbox One because it's the only decent or semi-AAA game they've actually given me for free. And I still haven't played it or completed it because I just find it so dull and boring. But I've got it. Whatever. Watch Dogs 2 came out. And essentially, that was supposed to be, it's a different character, a lot better, etc., a much better story apparently. But at the time of release, a lot of other games came out, and most people actually swept it under the rug. And to be honest with you, even some of the YouTubers that I've watched, haven't done a review on it. Like, it's just like null and void. Like, no one cares for its existence. It was competing with probably a lot of other games at that time. So, I don't know. I still haven't really met anybody, or my friend who bought the last one hasn't even picked it up. So, meh. You know what I mean? It's been out forever. You can probably pick it up for cheap. But apparently the third one, it's rumoured to fill this particular time slot where they've got nothing happening. Apparently they are suggesting that Ubisoft could move it to the Quebec Ubisoft developers or Ubisoft Sofia. They're apparently saying that if there is a Watch Dogs 3, it will come out at E3 2018. They like to pack its conference with a lot of stuff or whatever, and to be fair, I do agree with them. I always look forward to the Ubisoft press conference, because they do pack in a lot, and I'm very interested in the games from Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. I think Watch Dogs is absolutely one of the ones I'm just not interested in. Like I said, it might be 2018, or the forward they're saying it might be released, or 2019, depending on the fiscal year. Of course, PS4, Xbox One. And apparently they are suggesting it to be England would be its location, because of the fact is a couple of things. Well, one, London is one of the most watched places in the world, like camera-wise. So there's plenty of opportunities for hacking, etc., and the infrastructure. Plus, they've got a lot of diagrams on Assassin's Creed Syndicate relating to London. But of course, that's old London, of course, you know, from the 18th century, or God knows whatever that was held. So, you know, they'd have to redo that anyway and modernise it and everything. But whatever, the incentive is there for them to do it. Now, because at the end of the previous game, apparently, they gave you some coordinates. And it sums it up to a very specific place. And, of course, you scan these coordinates for Europe, America, and all the rest of it. And when it came to Europe, I think the actual coordinates came up to Brixton. So I think there might be, if there is going to be a game, the story might be based in Brixton, in the UK or whatever. So that'd be interesting. Again, that's just their thought on it right now. I haven't said that. I've never played the last one. I don't know if I really want to Watch Dogs 3. Will I play it? Probably not, because I haven't played the first two. Or I played only 2 hours of the first one, and it bored the hell out of me. So it's not a franchise I'm particularly interested in playing. But I know it's got its core fan base. Whether it would, I know a lot of people, if anything, will be interested in a game based in the UK to see how they do it, what they do in modern times. I won't deny that. We need it. We need a game in London. The last one I played was The Getaway, which was pretty decent. Alright, it weren't no Grand Theft Auto. That's what I think everybody wants in the UK. In the game open world, want a Grand Theft Auto in the UK. That'd be totally awesome. Modern times, you know what I mean? So that'd be interesting. But yeah, so hit and miss with that. Some will be interested, some will not. Next up, we have a game that I am quite excited for. Again, this is just a rumor in the new, apparently a new Dino Crisis. Now, I have been a huge fan of Dino Crisis. Alright, I only played one of their games. I played the last one, when there was dinosaurs. Oh god, whoever that guy was. How did that get through? When there was dinosaurs in space. You fucking kidding me? I'll never forget that. Now, here is the actual article relating to it. 2017 December, so it's just like last month gone by. Without a direct follow-up to the last Dino Crisis, the game is generally considered to be one of the most highly anticipated video game sequels of all time, but there are currently no official word on to whether or not another entry in the series is on the cards. Be that as it may, the publisher and developer Capcom recently teased that a new installment of the franchise could eventually happen, that is if the fans want it enough. Want it enough? Dude, I've been calling out for this for about 2 or 3 years. I would happily pay full price for a HD remake of them, of the collection, or a total tear down and remaking of Dino Crisis. I think it was 2. You know, when the guy has to go back in time or whatever in the jungle. That was really cool. The space one, you can fuck off. But yeah, I think a lot of people want that, and you know, they could do enough with Resident Evil and everything else. I don't know what else they do actually. Oh, what I can think of is Resident Evil when I think of Capcom. But Dino Crisis was definitely a game I'm definitely excited for if it happens. As seen below in a tweet from Capcom Division 1 Twitter handle, the developer's account responded to a user known as Jaw Muncher, okay, who asked if there's going to be a new Dino Crisis game on the way. In a follow-up message to the fan, Capcom simply wrote that the sequel could become an actuality if a lot of people wish for it to happen. Like I said, we all want that. Naturally, Capcom's response to Jaw Muncher on Twitter doesn't necessarily confirm the production of another Dino Crisis has begun, but it shows that the company is at least listening and to its fans and engaging with the fan base. So although the mention of the survival horror title isn't definitive proof of a follow-up being in the works, the door still seems to be left wide open for a direct sequel, or perhaps even a remaster or remake of the game's series. About a year ago, it was revealed that Capcom Vancouver almost developed a reboot for Dino Crisis, which shows the company is keen to make another game for the franchise, but under the right circumstances. And while news of a fourth Dino Crisis would certainly please die-hard fans of the series, the fact that the last installment of Dino Crisis 3 released in 2003 doesn't bode well for a fresh sequel just yet. Whew. Okay, so I would actually hold on one second here. It's got most fiscally sound scenario for Capcom would involve Dino Crisis property first being introduced in a large portion of today's audience who didn't grow up with the title, with titles, by either re-releasing them as a remastering them, and with Capcom have previously said a HD remaster of the AAA titles are a priority. A more polished version of the original Dino Crisis being released before an actual sequel would not only be more likely, but is also would be a starting point for newbies. And now this is where I 100% agree with them in this aspect. If you're worried and you want to test the field, you've done a lot of HD remakes for Resident Evil. You know, they're like £7 or £8 now on the PlayStation or whatever. I would definitely support a HD remake and would buy that, no problem, day one. And probably play all of them. I do like number 2 specifically. I don't know if I'd even touch that space one. You know, whoever made the game where the dinosaurs are in space. I just don't get that. You know what I mean? I might even tweet them now, actually. I'm going to tweet them now. Capcom UK. Hey Herd, there's a new Dino Crisis. Let's put a hashtag for that. In the works. Nah, Dino Crisis in the works, or a HD. A HD remake. Would love this. Please. No dinosaurs in space. Yes. Hashtag fire that guy. Yeah. Alright, so I tweeted them. Yeah. Good. All right, so hopefully they get word on that and start making Dino Crisis HD remake. And I'm hoping they do give what the fans want. Like I said, they've done it with Resident Evil, very successful franchise. Dino Crisis, I feel, to cash in on a hardcore fan base and bring it to new audiences is a positive, a right step, a step in the right direction. Sorry. Okay, so this last thing. What company makes this actually? This last game is a rumor. Now this is a trilogy, or originally was a trilogy in BioShock. Now they're talking about a new BioShock game coming out from 2K Games, I think, make this. Now I haven't played the previous ones. A lot of people said, oh, I should play them. I've played the last one. I got it free on the PlayStation 3 a few years ago. I cannot remember the story, but it was compelling. It was brilliant. I loved it. And they're only about £10 or £15 now for the trilogy. Maybe I should do a playthrough of it. I don't know all of them. Break them up over a period of weeks, months, whatever, like I normally do everything else. But there's evidence to suggest that a new BioShock game is coming. I would very much support that and buy that, especially on the PS4. See what they can do with it. A new 2K's new Novato-based studio picks up another major BioShock alum to work on its unannounced project. Now this is an unannounced project, but there's some interesting things. Now sometimes you work with other people which are on other projects, more experience, maybe two minds coming together over a new project to, revision something, like the actual series, or like what's next for the series, or you can start on something totally new and just, have a clean break. And it's always interesting to work with, new ideas, same people you get on with, new ideas, new projects. So, it says here, we are pretty sure that 2K Games is working on a new BioShock, considering it's been already hiring from former BioShock developers to work on an unannounced AAA first-person action game as its new Novato California studio. Now, thanks to another recent hire, we have even more evidence that the next BioShock is currently in development. Former BioShock Infinite developer Sean Elliott has returned to 2K Games as in principal combat designer for the Novato Studio mystery project. Elliott previously worked on Irrational Games as a level designer and associate producer on BioShock Infinite before moving to Arkane Studio to work on Prey. So he has quite a bit of experience bringing immersive sims to life. Elliott is joining at least one other former BioShock developer, Jim Ingram, who is working on 2K Games Novato Studio as a senior UX designer. Ingram previously worked as a UI user interface artist on BioShock 2 for 2K Marine, which was originally supposed to develop the next BioShock title before it was apparently shuttered. Elliott's hire still doesn't prove anything, but it seems that it could be a pretty strong coincidence that the new 2K studio is hiring another former BioShock developer to work on a game that sounds exactly like BioShock. Plus, the Take-Two's plans to publish a new AAA title every year. It wouldn't hurt to have a BioShock waiting on the bench. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, essentially that is the rumor. They got this new studio, and then the new BioShock might hit out over the next 1 or 2 years. 2018 maybe in development. I'm thinking a 2019 release if it does come out. Do we need another BioShock? Do you want another BioShock? I would definitely like to see them hit the PS4, see what they can do with that, and hopefully the story is just as compelling, just as dark, and see where they go with it, graphics-wise. Just to bring it up to that standard Xbox One or PS4 graphics. And see what else they can do, because they're all unique stories, you know what I mean? They're under that banner of BioShock, and then whatever story they wish to tell, they will tell. So I'm interested to see what they can come up with in the near future. That's about it for this week's News Friday, guys. There's only, there's quite a bit of news in there. Some tragedy, some good news with Dino Crisis or whatever, BioShock. Okay, they're rumors, but they're still very interesting, and I'd like to, we have to wait and see. I did report on Dino Crisis a few months back, being a rumor that was floating around or whatever. So it's nice to hear something a little bit fresh, and know that they're listening. I think a lot of people definitely want that. If you have any opinions, put them in the comment section below. There will be a food review out this week. Also, I'll be doing some different kind of content. I think I will be over the next 1 or 2 weeks. I don't know. It depends. I do some random stuff. It depends. It's, hit and miss, whatever. South Park: The Stick of Truth finishes next week. on the Friday, and then I'll start a new playthrough, whichever that may be. I've got a community tab now on my channel, which is like a Facebook thing, which I definitely recommend you check out. I can put polls there. I can have you guys vote on the next playthrough and stuff like that. I'll probably be doing a little bit of an update video. I don't know when I'll release that, but you know, I just talk about some random topics that I want to get off my chest and stuff like that to really coerce. I'm trying to interact a little bit more with my audience as well. Whether it works or not, or you know, whatever. I'll get into more of that in the actual vlog, which I do. Anyway, guys, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Links will be in the description below, and I will see you next time. Oh, if you want to buy a t-shirt, you can check them out in the link in the description below as well. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.